The narrative of the Pokemon games usually focuses on two things: becoming the best there ever was, and thwarting the plans of an evil team. Not every evil team in the Pokemon games is strictly evil, but I figured that would be the best title for this video, as to not confuse anyone who may come here looking for the best competitive teams. You know what I'm referring to: Team Rocket, Team Galactic, etc, etc. The organisation has to have the word team in the name, so no Ether Foundation here. Now, I know you may already be thinking that there are two teams in the Gen 3 games, Team Magma and Team Aqua. And yes, you'd be right. I decided to include those as a single entry. In the original games, the teams are interchangeable, and in Emerald, they can't really exist without the other. So I decided to include them as a pairing, even though I know they hate each other's guts. That's about all there is to clarify, so let's get started. I started this video saying that Pokemon narratives tend to have two focuses, one of which being an evil team that needs to be put in their place. But that isn't really the case with the first entry on this list, Team Yell. Team Yell take a backseat in a story where there is hardly anything going on to begin with. The result of this is a team that barely has any impact at all. Their main job is to halt the progression of budding gym challengers, allowing Marnie to rise through the ranks uninterrupted. They're pretty bad at that, as they end up blocking all paths apart from the one that leads directly to the gyms, and that's kind of the only purpose they serve in Sword and Shield. They aren't bad guys, they have no greater purpose, just gating personified. To be honest, if Team Yell didn't own the team moniker, I wouldn't have a problem with that, but being an official team, they had expectations to live up to, and they fell well short. Team Flare aren't the most prevalent team, but they at least have a much greater presence than Team Yell. However, they are pretty by the books. Players will run into them throughout the game's special facilities and fight walls of them in attempts to stop the head honcho. Lysander, the team's leader, has some pretty dark motives. He doesn't want to rule the world, not a world inhabited by evil humans. He seeks to create a new beautiful world. It's pretty heavy stuff, something that fits the brooding Lysander. But when we take a look at the goofy personality of the rest of the Team Flare members, yeah, something doesn't quite add up. How can these clowns be capable of even conjuring the idea of a perfect world, let alone create it? Added to that, it isn't until late in Pokemon X and Y that we even get a glimpse of Team Flare's true motives before they are defeated and their part of the plot ends. They definitely could have benefited from more screen time. Team Galactic are fairly similar to Team Flare. The greatest similarity being the huge gulf between the intelligence of the leader, in this case Cyrus, and the grunts. But the reason I prefer Team Galactic is that Cyrus realises that the team he's invented isn't good enough for his vision. His lackeys can't even comprehend his goal to create a world without spirit. Then again, neither can I. His plans make him seem both delusional and crazy, a scary combination. And because the grunts are so dumb, it leads to some funny dialogue. Plus, Team Galactic are involved in some of the greatest moments in the Gen 4 games, like the Pokemon abduction at the lakes and the clash at Spear Pillar. All in all, they're a pretty good team. Team Rocket. If the teams were scored based on nostalgia points, they would be the very top of many Pokemon fans' lists, including mine. But since we're not, I think the middle is a good spot for them. Team Rocket's motives are fairly simple: steal Pokemon, sell Pokemon, exploit Pokemon, world domination, that sort of thing. And you know, it works. In the first generation Pokemon games, they are a massive threat. A group of adults who would stop at nothing to gain power, creating a hostage situation at the Silphco building, and even killing a Marowak who tried to defend its child. And Giovanni is just a straight up mob boss looking kinda fella, who even managed to swindle his way into the seat of Viridian City's gym. Even without Giovanni, Team Rocket's evil antics kept going in Johto, where we saw them cutting off the tails of these poor slowpokes. Yeah, Team Rocket have done some pretty messed up stuff. After defeating Team Rocket in 2 regions, Game Freak finally saw fit to give us a new antagonist. Not just one team, but 2. Team Magma and Team Aqua. 2 teams with 2 different themes. Water for Aqua, and a bit of fire, bit of ground for Magma. The themes lend nicely to the Pokemon selection of each team. Depending on what game you're playing, you will see different versions of these teams. In Pokemon Ruby, Team Magma attempt to take control of the legendary Pokemon Groudon and expand the landmass. In Sapphire, Team Aqua aim to capture the sea basin Pokemon Kyogre and expand the sea. Whichever team is not taking over the world will appear in the game as a third party, helping the player stop the evil team. Their plot is cool enough in these games, but it shines brighter in Pokemon Emerald, where both teams are evil and both go through with their schemes, leaving the world in a state of confusion. Both teams fight each other while the player has to take both of them down. It's a wonderful dynamic that we haven't seen in any other Pokemon game. I love Team Magma and Aqua, and they only get the bronze medal. The next two teams I love even more. I have my problems with Black and White, but one of the things that I think they do superbly is story, and a big contributor to that is Team Plasma. Team Plasma is truly unlike any evil team in the series. They are not wholly selfish. Their main goal is Pokemon liberation, allowing Pokemon to live freely without being ruled by their trainers as Team Plasma sees it. But they are far from good guys, as their methods include Pokemon theft and brainwashing. The hierarchy within the team is not so cut and dry, as there is a lot of corruption and manipulation coming from within that causes some of its members to change their ways, and we see the repercussions of this in Black 2 and White 2. Some members believe in the true villain Getsis, while others follow the teachings of M. We even see old friends fighting over different ideals. Team Plasma is such a cool and interesting team who, not to mention, have some amazing battle themes. Oh yeah, I cannot get enough of Team Skull from the Gen 7 games. Team Skull were the first team in Pokemon who weren't necessarily evil. Its members are much more down to earth and don't have any lofty world-ending goals or anything like that. They're just a group of punk kids who feel like their failures have lost them their place in society. Alola is a region of happy-go-lucky characters that love to smile and bask in the bright world of Pokemon. Team Skull is the other side of the coin. They reject the traditions of Alola, take up solace in Po-Town, and attempt to gain strength in their own way, without the island challenge. The team has mad respect for their leader Guzma, who, due to his position, is easily manipulated by Lusamine when she acknowledges his strength. And he is damn strong. His Golisopod puts up a mighty fight in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Perhaps he doesn't realise the devotedness of his cronies, but when they all band together and request the player try to save him later in the game, it's a really touching moment. Some of the members also have a bit of wit, discussing their disdain with Gladion as if they were sensing something off about him. The team's story is told magnificently. At first they just appear to be hooligans. As the game progresses, we begin to see how they came to be like this, and they even turn over a new leaf towards the end. Interactions with them can be funny, and sometimes left me feeling melancholy. It's a team with real personality, they never felt like walls of trainers. I even love their dumb animations, and to top it off, they come with some excellent music tracks too. Those are my top 7 Pokemon evil teams. I feel like Team Skull isn't an obvious choice, so I'd love to know how you'd rank them in a comment down below. Subscribe for more countdown videos like this, and be sure to follow me over on Twitch where you can talk to me live about Pokemon or anything. And as always, have fun playing video games.